I'm sure for some Manchester United fans, they couldn't wait for a day like this, whereby they will get the news Erik Ten Hag is gone. And the truth is, it was just a matter of time. It was really just a matter of time because the results were not just very encouraging. But let's start with the beginning. Erik Ten Hag, in his first season at Manchester United, he won the Carabao Cup. He finished third, and to be fair, that was a good season for a manager in his first season, qualifying for the Champions League, qualifying for the Champions League, winning the Carabao Cup. That's not a bad season, honestly. And the expectation was they were going to build on that first season. And in the second season, it felt like there was so many things going wrong in terms of you couldn't see a style of play, you couldn't tell if they were a counter-attacking team, a possession team. You couldn't tell what Manchester United were trying to do. They were losing games where they were not supposed to lose. Teams were just dominating them. And also, they had injury issues. They dealt with some injuries as well. And that second season, they finished eighth and they got the FA Cup. Now, winning the FA Cup, you could tell maybe that sort of saved his season because as at that point some Manchester United fans already wanted him out. But the Ineos group, the Umar Barada and the other guys, Dan Ashworth, they decided to stick with him to give him time. And going into this season, during the transfer market, they brought in the likes of Zexi, Ugarte, they brought in Lenny Euro, they brought in who again? Delete, Musiala. So they brought in guys to actually they brought in guys to actually add to the squad to help in that squad depth. And as the season went on, it wasn't looking great. Honestly, it wasn't looking great because I think their first game against I think did they win the game against Wolves? Irrespective of Wolves being sort of being the better team, I think when you watch the game, Wolves actually dominated them, and they've had moments where also games where they create chance and they don't take their chance and they end up losing or dropping point. The West Ham game was just one of those games where they created chance and they didn't take their chance and they got punished. West Ham got a penalty of which it wasn't a penalty and they lost the game. And one thing I can say for this season for Erik Ten Hag, you could actually see a style of play a little bit whereby you're seeing Diego Dalot moving into the midfield trying to create chance. So I'm like me when I watch them as a neutral, I'm like okay, this is the style of play, but there wasn't consistent result. There wasn't really consistent result because there are games where apart from the West Ham game, I think it was even Crystal Palace as well where they dominated the game, they created chance and they dropped points. I think it ended 0-0 in that game. The only difference with that one and the West Ham game was they lost the West Ham game and the game against Crystal Palace, that's this season, they didn't lose it. Now, after the West Ham game, I'm sure most Manchester United just had this feeling it was just going to happen. It was really, really just going to happen, and of course, they decided to let him go. Now, the job of Manchester United, it's never easy. It comes with so much pressure. It really comes with so much pressure. Like I guess because of course they're the biggest club in England and taking over that club, you just have to deal with a lot. Now they decided to let Erik Ten Hag go. What next? What next for Manchester United? And the good thing is for Erik Ten Hag, the only positive some Manchester United fans can take is yes, he gave them the Carabao Cup, he gave them the FA Cup, and also he he gave youngsters the opportunity to be in the first team, the like of Kobe Mino, Ahmad Ganacho, all these guys. He gave them a chance to prove themselves, and you can tell, especially Kobe Mino is a generational talent. You can tell in his in like in, down the future he will be one of the best in his generation, and I'm sure Kobe Mino will always be grateful to Eric Ten Hag. I'm guessing those are some of the positive they can take. Now going forward, one next now is sacked, and of course they've been named the likes of Ruben Amorim, that's the Sporting Lisbon manager, Xavi, Nagusman, Southgate, Southgate, Thomas Frank in Brentford, if I'm correct, yeah. But it feels like the Ruben Amorim is the one um the the board they're actually interested in. That's the guys in charge of football operations. It seems that's the one they're interested in. And the truth is, if they happen to bring in that guy, someone that is it seems is already doing a good job in Sporting Lisbon, and the last, if I'm correct, Jose Mourinho, the last Portuguese manager in Manchester United, he didn't do bad. He finished second. He won Europa League. Going up against a Pep Guardiola, honestly, is never easy. So Jose Mourinho in Manchester United didn't do bad actually. So him coming in, I'm not saying there will be a guarantee, but if they happen to bring in someone like that, that's not bad. Someone that is young, you can tell he has an identity, a style of play, and it seems also he's already winning in Portugal. Of course, the Portuguese league is different from the Premier League because, like I said, the Premier League, aside Manchester United job, come with so much pressure. The Premier League on its own has so much pressure. But of all those guys they've mentioned, that's the Thomas Frank, Southgate, Xavi, Nagelsmann. I'll say Ruben Amorim and who I don't know. I think you can say he's actually the best among those guys. He's actually the best. He's actually the best among those. You can put in Xavi and Nagelsmann in there as well because Nagelsmann didn't do bad when he was in Bayern. I think he got sacked when he took them to the semi-final, if I'm correct. That was when Bayern actually sacked him. So Nagelsmann is not a bad one per se, but um the Ineos group, that's those guys. It seems Ruben Amorim is the one they really want to go for, and if they get it, or if they're able to get him to sign and to come to Manchester United. Of course, it will be like a fresh start. It will be the good thing is Erik have left some very good players in that team because in that Manchester United team there are some very good players there. You can tell the likes of Zexi is a good one. Kobe Mino is a good one. Delete is a good one. There are very good players in that team, and if he happens to be the manager, sure, that's not a bad one. But irrespective of who they bring in, the thing for the guys, irrespective of who they bring in, that's the Ineos group. Whoever they bring in will actually tell what's their plan for Manchester United, they how hungry are they to win because Eric Ten wasn't their plan, and this would be like their very very first manager appointment ever since taking over that football operations side. So whoever they bring in will actually tell a very very it will tell a picture, a story of how ambitious are this guy? Are this guy here to win? Do this guy really want Manchester United to be back at the top again? But for me, if you ask me as a neutral here, honestly, there's a scarcity for managers, and it's just like strikers. There seems to be no striker in Europe anymore. But if you ask me who, as a neutral, I'll say the Inter Milan manager. I'm sure some Inter Milan fans will not like to hear this, but Inzaghi is Inzaghi is that guy that I think if you look around Europe, I think he's that guy that is top. He's up there. He has been able to take Inter Milan to the Champions League final. He has won the league there. So looking around within Europe, apart from Ancelotti and the Pep, when you look around Europe in the top five leagues, I think if you take away those two guys, I will say I'll put him first. Currently, at the moment, right now, in Europe, Inzaghi. But hey, I guess Manchester United won't be interested in that. I don't know why, but honestly, as a neutral, if there's one that I'll say, okay, who is this guy that can come into the league and maybe make it very difficult for the Artetas, the Pep, and all these other guys. I'll say Inzaghi is that guy. But yeah, let me know what you think as a Manchester United fan. Let me know your take on the likes of Xavi, Thomas Frank, Ruben Amorim, Southgate, and let me know who would you like to be the manager of Manchester United, and also let me know your take as well in regards to my own suggestion for Inzaghi. Do you think is that guy that is good enough for Manchester United? But yeah, that's it for me, guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Please do not forget to like, do not forget to subscribe. Thank you very much.